Welcome back to the Magic of the Musicals. It's Alex Belfield talking to the biggest stars in the West End and on Broadway, and we've got two huge, whopping, great big stars for you now, Daniel and Mark from Avenue Q, which is a tremendous show. It's a unique show. It's a puppet show for adults, basically, isn't it?
I think you're absolutely right. You've nailed it on the head there. It is a puppet show for adults. It's kind of a cross between Sesame Street and South Park, I'd say. It's kind of
absolutely
rude Sesame Street.
And you both work really, really hard in this, more than anybody else in the show. You are so physical in it. And it's that clever thing where you start forgetting about you, although you're doing all the hard work, and believing that these puppets are actually doing everything. It's so cleverly staged.
It is. I mean, I think that's what's made it so successful, is this kind of coupling of I think probably to the listeners, the idea is we're not in lycra, we're not in black lycra and the puppets are sort of in front of us. We are with the puppets. We're wearing kind of charcoal grey and they're half puppets, so it's you get to see both, and as you've seen the show a couple of times, after a while you sort of start putting the emotion off the actor onto the puppet, and I think that's the genius, isn't it?
It's just so clever, yeah.
It's
very clever.
I don't think there's not ever been anything like it. Our puppet master, Nigel Plaskett, he sort of said he wished that he'd come up with this idea because it's such a brilliant idea.
And he's worked on like Muppet movies and anything to do with puppets. He will have worked on it.
So
he's an amazing guy.
That's what's made it so successful.
And it's one of the few shows that attracts teenagers. It's not soppy. It's not like the old-fashioned musicals. It's not even like a modern musical, but it's just got that cool thing about it. And I noticed that more than any other show, that the kids really love it as much as the 30-somethings who you see in your show.
I think it was kind of written for kind of a younger audience, if you like, and I know that Cameron's been very clever and made it the cheapest show in town so that you can, like, youngsters can afford to go and see it. It deals with things which
parents should probably come with their children.
children, but kind of teenagers, the kind of subject matter is very kind of it just deals in life really, and youngsters growing up in the world, and although it's a bit of fun and has all these kind of rude words, if you like, and rude songs, it has a real heart to it, and you do go away thinking, well, actually, I can relate that to my life.
And as for musicals and you two, Daniel, tell me your career and what you've been in and what you enjoy doing.
Wow, what have I been in? I've been in Grease, West Side Story. I was on a BBC TV talent show.
I'll pick that one up for you then. TV's Daniel Boys.
The Search for Joseph, which I didn't win. I do feel kind of partly guilty for entering a show like that, because when the Maria show happened, I was one of the ones getting kind of angry, thinking, oh my God, reality TV is taking over musical theatre now. But when it came a year later, when I heard the audition for Joseph, I kind of just thought to myself, well, I'm not getting where I want to get. I'm not being seen for things I want to be seen for. I need to just play the game, I guess. And I went along for an audition. I didn't think I'd get anywhere, honestly. And so to suddenly get down to the final 12 and then to appear on the TV was really strange and very surreal. But there's no doubt that it kind of has helped me, and at the time I kind of had a profile about me. So
I think people, if you just come in there, I think people who from the outside, and of course I Daniel has been in the industry for a number of years, and I think after the Maria show, I think a lot of people in our industry thought, well, this is the new way to audition, clearly. We go to auditions all the time, we have to do that all the time, and this kind of came up and people went, oh no, that's probably just going to be a bit of commercial fun. But people realised very quickly that good people were going up for it, and you just went, well, fair enough. I suppose personally for me, there's probably not going to be a show like that that's going to be, unless they look for, I don't know, The Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz or something.
Or Jonathan Ansell the musical or something.
Exactly. I mean, obviously it doesn't quite work for your listeners. You have to see what I look like. But there is that kind of side to it. Do you know what I mean? Fair enough. If the right thing came up, you think, well, it gives you a profile. It gives you, a bit more clout. And the people that we know that have been up for it, like the lovely Rachel Tucker, who was up, and she's now doing We Will Rock You, who was brilliant. And she had been in the, I don't know if she's been in the West End, but she's certainly toured with shows. And again, like Daniel had been around. I'd seen you at many auditions. We were both waiting to go in and sing our songs.
And how depressing is that when you're stood there and you know that you're competing with another 1,000 people who might be taller than you, better looking than you, different colour hair than you? It's a really personal thing, isn't it, that? And you have to just be able to take that rejection. I couldn't do it.
I think you do. I think it's funny when you see the people on X Factor crying every week. You
and you think, why are you crying? Like,
you think,
because we're just so used to it.
But then they had a go at you for not crying, didn't they?
Yeah,
they
on the BBC thing, why aren't you crying? Well,
we have a few more tears. Literally putting Vicks under your eyes to try and just, pull out the tears.
It's just part of the business, and we were talking about this in the dressing room the other day, we get lots of young people saying to us, can you give me some advice? I want to go into the business, can you give me some advice? And normally Mark and I actually say to them, don't do it.
Or, if you want to go on a show, get a story. Really get a story. Have a rabbit that's died or something. You know what I mean?
It does seem now you're not going to get any airtime unless a relative has died.
It's awful to say it, but,
it's true.
The guitar starts playing and there's going to be a story, whether they can sing or not.
When we hear the intro to You Raise Me Up, we know it's curtains, don't we, really?
Absolutely.
How old are you now, Daniel?
29.
And you, Mark?
We'll be 33 very shortly.
So, you're both past it now, aren't you, in terms of the young chorus? So where do you go from here? Because I presume now it's about the proper roles. Michael Ball's gone through that recently. The juvenile lead ain't going to be him now. He's 47 stone.
Yeah, I think obviously for me, I never really made the grade as a Juve lead, so I've always been waiting for those character parts. So I'm hoping the future's bright. We were just talking about this. I think, on stage you tend to play younger anyway. Do you know what I mean? There's always that kind of 5-year sort of thing of, if on your spotlight page and on these things on your CV, you have to put what age could you be, categorised into. And I think mine's sort of from 25 to 35. So there's there's 10 years there to sort of play with, because there's plenty of people who are 45 still playing 35. So I think we've got a bit of leeway there, but I don't think I'm ever going to be Joseph. I don't think it's ever going to happen.
It's a rubbish show anyway. Why would you want to be part of that? Have you got your eye on anything? Is there anything you'd like to do next?
We're available from the 28th of March.
Yes, both of us. We did a show together before this, so we come together. We
come as a package. Daniel singing beautifully and looking beautiful. Me, not so much.
You seem to have an issue with your appearance. Imagine being ginger. Come on, be fair to yourself. At least you've not got that curse.
I got the hair is my favourite bit, actually. That's my greatest feature.
So what next?
I don't know what's next. I am touring with John Barrowman next year. He's doing a concert tour, and I'm touring with him.
Lovely.
So that's getting to sing some more kind of pop songs rather than musical theatre.
Do you know him well?
Sorry.
I'm saying nothing.
Red, but there's nothing there, honestly.
Really not.
He's a married man.
Oh, don't laugh.
I'm really,
don't laugh.
No, it makes it worse. No, he's lovely. And
I'm going to make a fortune out of this to the Sun. They're going to pay a fortune for this.
He's been very nice and supportive since the Joseph
I'm
thing.
sure he has. Yeah. He's stark raving bonkers, isn't he?
He is. He is. He's crazy. What you see is what you get. He's actually like that all the time. But some people say, "Oh, he's so annoying and so loud," but he is very kind and very caring. He does have that side to him. And when we were there in the Joseph programme, he actually did care about all of us, and he was very supportive. He's a lovely man.
And for you?
For me, I don't know. At the moment, nothing's sort of come in that. Obviously, it's early days. We've still got Avenue Q to sort of finish. In the new year, maybe some things will come up, but I am available.
It is always depressing to me over the years I've done this programme, seeing so many amazing stars who, once the show closes or it finishes for whatever reason, they're sat at home watching This Morning and Loose Women. And it's just a very cruel business where the bar is very high and they've got the pick of the crop and it's down to what they want, not what you want, isn't it? And unless you are John Barrowman, it is going to be tough.
I think that the bottom line is that the last few shows I've been in, primarily they've all closed, earlier than they were expected to. I did a show called The Drowsy Chaperone. I don't know if you saw that one, but that was a brilliant show. Never picked up the audience. Elaine Page did it, or should I say EP. And she, it was a brilliant show, and I think we lasted something like 2 months. That was it. It wasn't picked up. It wasn't probably advertised in the way it should have been, but that's the kind of climate we're in. You get a show and you think, your fingers crossed that this is going to pick up a good audience. And the amazing thing with Avenue Q is that it's been there and it's coming into its, we're into our third year. We've just done 1,000 shows, which is amazing for a show which is a real niche audience. And you just think, because I remember when it first came out, I thought, who's going to go and see this? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden you started picking up audiences, as you say, from the teenagers, and also city boys started to, you see all the suits there, they get like trips. I don't know if they're corporate trips, but they end up absolutely loving it, even if they start flicking around on their BlackBerry, by the end they're in tears.
Nobody can touch Wicked or The Lion King, but trust me, eventually they're going to fade. They'll have to.
I mean, the thing with Wicked and Lion King is the amount of money they have to keep those shows running, and that's something that's a worldwide product that has an awful lot of resources from having producers who are film producers. So there's a big pool of money, and I think if they didn't have that, I'm not sure how long these shows could have sustained. But there is that thing, the more that you're in town, the more people get to know about it, the more, and we're a real word of mouth show.
Yeah,
that is incredible. And obviously everything's been slightly hit by the credit crunch, but we're hoping for a great Christmas and certainly a great last sort of 3 months coming into the new year. I'm
just wondering though, Mark, if the last 3 shows you've been in have closed.
I know. Is it
could
me?
It be you?
This is something that has been kind of put towards me. But then I did say that I was in Les Mis, and that's still running. Although I did close that at the Palace. So I don't know. Maybe it is me.
Why don't you try window cleaning or something else?
Something else. I don't know quite what that would be.
And Daniel, congratulations to you, and good luck with John and all that develops. Enjoy yourself on tour with him in those premier lodges. I'm sure you'll have. I'm sure it'll be delightful, guys. Thank you for coming in. I'm a huge fan of this show. Go and see it. It's on till March. There's 8 shows a week to choose from, so there's plenty of time to see it. It is completely unique. If you're easily offended, don't bother. Don't waste your time. But if you just want good fun and something completely different and want to leave your brain at the door just to laugh and have some fun with some great puppets and great actors, go and see Avenue Q. Guys, thank you very much for talking to me.
Cheers.